my channel and welcome to my cold sore. Yes, this is the video I promised for everybody on Instagram who, when I started to get a cold sore, I said, who wants a video about cold sores? And 97% of you said yes. So here we are. This is the story of how I started to get cold sores and what I used to try and minimize the attacks. And it has been triggered not only by the development of my own cold sore, but also by a nurse telling me that the drug that I take has now come off of prescription, in the sense that you don't need to go to your GP, you can now fill out a form online. So let's start. Welcome to my cold sore. This is now 8 days old and it's at the annoying scab, can't really hide it, but at least it doesn't look like a pussy mess stage. I'm sure that most of the people watching this already suffer from cold sores, so I'm preaching to the converted here. I don't really need to tell you what a cold sore is. A cold sore is caused by the herpes simplex virus and it is incurable. You basically are in some way, probably from kissing as a teenager. They're really highly contagious, and I think something like 60% of the population carry the virus, and the virus is incurable, and it basically migrates into the nerves that run down to the lips, the nose and the mouth, and it lies there dormant, and then through times of stress or exposure to sunshine or cold weather or periods of illness, and I have no idea what triggered this, so that ruins all those rules, the virus comes out and is activated, and it attacks the skin normally around here, although some people really unluckily can get it around the eyes. The first time I caught a cold sore, I was probably about 24 and I was skiing and I had no idea what it was. And I remember they used to start here and run from my nose down to here. And it's why I have a little bit of filler in a dent here, because, I mean, they really attack the collagen and elastin under the skin. But now, for some reason, I always get them here. And if they get really bad, i.e. before I used to take the drug that I'm going to introduce you to, they used to go right down onto my chin and right up onto my lip, and they would always come when I was super stressed for 2 weeks. I worked really hard to go on holiday. As a freelancer, self-employed, I used to do all my work before I went away, and then I'd go on holiday, expose myself to the sunlight, and bang, they'd appear. Nothing more gorgeous than a cold sore on what is supposedly a romantic holiday. Anyway, about 4 or 5 years ago, I was at a resort and I came down with a cold sore, and I saw a doctor, the in-house doctor at any hotel or any resort you can go to, and I was so desperate I was prepared to throw money at it. And the doctor, who was not based in the UK obviously, said to me, have you ever taken Acyclovir? And I said, well, of course I've used the creams, but they don't really work. And he said, no, the creams don't work. You need the tablets. And I have to say, it is a little bit like smashing a walnut with a sledgehammer, because these tablets, Acyclovir oral tablets, they are 400 milligrams, and the course for oral herpes cold sores is normally 3 tablets a day for 5 days. It can be 3 tablets a day for 7 days if they're really bad. But it was originally developed for eye outbreaks and also for genital herpes. And then what happened was, if you've got a private prescription or if you'll really nag your GP, they started to realise that actually if you took them at the very earliest stage of getting a cold sore, not only would they shorten the life of the cold sore, but for me the way they work is that instead of getting them twice a year, I now get them once every 5 years. So you happen to be lucky to have caught me with it this time. Anyway, stupidly, I started coming down with this cold sore on a Thursday. I ignored it. I thought, oh no, I haven't had one for so long, that can't be the cold sore I'm feeling. Also, it doesn't tingle, it just feels like a little sort of painful bump on my lip. I happen to be interviewing an aesthetic doctor and nurse on the Friday. And I saw the nurse and I said to her, I think I'm coming down with a cold sore. Do you think the doctor would write me a prescription for Acyclovir? And she said, you don't need a prescription now, you can go online. And she was so right. So what I did was I went online and I just Googled cold sore tablets, online prescription, and up came the wonderful Superdrug. I think also Lloyd's Pharmacy might do them. There's a couple of pharmacies. Funnily enough, Boots don't offer the service. And what you do is you fill out a form, takes no more than 5 minutes. You say, yes, I've had cold sores before, and I know it's a cold sore, and I've had it for this long, and I'm not pregnant, and I'm not breastfeeding, and all of those things. And then basically an online GP approves your prescription and then you pay online. I think this was about £25, so it's quite a lot of money. And then it arrives in post the next day. Or if you're really lucky, you can pop down to your local Superdrug or Lloyd's pharmacy or something like that and pick up your pharmacy. It's only the big chain pharmacies. Don't know why Boots aren't doing it. I presume they are. They're just being slow to catch on. Anyway, so it's become an online prescription medication, which is huge news. And what they do is they offer you normally, and I don't know why I didn't do it, they offer you 2 prescriptions at once. So you can take one for your current outbreak, but the idea is, I'm not really sure that this is shortening the life of this cold sore, but what it is doing is it's knocking back the virus in living dormant in these nerves so that I don't get another attack, I hope, for a few years rather than a few months. But if you buy 2, the idea is you keep the other one in your cupboard, and if you get frequent outbreaks, nice recommendations recommend that you take these are most effective. You take them at the first tingle. With all Acyclovir based topical creams or drugs, you take them at the very first tingle. And I didn't actually start taking this till 3 or 4 days into my attack, because by the time I'd got it and posted it and, you know, I'd signed for the postage and the weekend was over. So I'm not really sure it's shortening the attack, but for me, it's preventing a sudden onset again within a few months. Anyway, gold standard. This is like your equivalent of Retin-A, but for cold sores. Welcome to my world. As far as I'm concerned, topical Acyclovir, the creams, they just don't work. I've tried them in every shape and form. They don't work. I'm sorry, for me, they don't. Just go hard or go home. Get your oral Acyclovir. They're quite big horse tablets, by the way. Look, I've got 2 left, which shows you I've been taking them for 3.5 days, 4.5 days now. Covering up. There are cold sore plasters you can stick over the top that are like those little jelly plasters. I'm not really sure. I tell you what I think they're handy for. I think they're handy for not spreading the virus in the early stages. When it's a blister and it's got clear liquid in it, that's when it's highly contagious. And when I say contagious, I mean you can spread it via, obviously kissing, but you can spread it via cups, dishes, knives, forks. You don't want to do any of that. You don't even want to share towels with people. That's where they're really handy, because then you can stick it over it at that point. It doesn't hide it. It doesn't help with the healing, in my opinion. I think it's better to dry it out as soon as possible, which also means no lip balms, really. And no lipstick as well. So you spend your whole time going around meeting people going, sorry, I've got a cold sore, sorry, I've got a cold sore, because you just know everybody's looking at it. It's like having a spot on the end of your nose. Anyway, they're handy at that stage, so that if you live in a busy household, or if you're a young mum and you've got young children, you don't want to kiss or cuddle or, you know, contact your children with your mouth at all or any infected area. They kind of keep the infection in place. But otherwise, I don't think they speed healing. Let's talk about other things you can do. Now, the minute I feel the early stages of tingle, I take this. This is Llysine. It's an amino acid, which is part of a protein, but taken at high enough doses, and I mean 3 or 4 times the RDA. Don't worry, your body assimilates it, passes the excess out in your urine. It's proven to stop the reproduction of the virus in your system. So I take this. These are 500 milligram, and I would take a minimum of 2,000 milligrams a day, 2 in the morning, 2 at night. And I do think it shortens outbreaks. Now, the other thing is licorice-based lip balms. This is base. There are quite a few. Google licorice-based lip balms. There's a preventative one and a curative one. Same active ingredient, which is a licorice extract. Licorice extract has been proven in vitro, i.e. in a test tube, not in vivo, in humans, to lessen the growth of the virus. And people say anecdotally that if they use a lip balm with licorice in it, it prevents outbreaks. Curatively, I don't think it works. Once I get a cold sore, nothing really seems to shorten the magic 10, 12 days. It just doesn't. They always take 10 to 12 days to go. But I do think base is not only super stylish, comes in a little break-proof case like this, and the active ingredient is a licorice extract. As I said, there's a daily one for preventative use and then a sort of more intensive one for when you've got them. I don't think they help heal, but they might help prevent. The other thing I'm going to say is you need to use an SPF if you know you're prone to them. And I don't like a lot of lip SPFs. My favourite SPF, and you're going to hate me because this is quite an expensive one, is the SkinCeuticals Mineral Eye SPF. It's the UV Defender SPF 30, and the reason I like it is because it's not gunky or rich or creamy or ointmenty at all. It's a super lightweight matte cream that works well under your eyes, but it just happens to work around your lips as well. Now, if you are going to put a lip balm on and it gets to the point where you are going to get the dry, crusty, scabby healing stage, which I'm at now, I totally understand you will want a lip balm. It's the same rules that I always have for lip balms. No mint, no chamomile, no lemon, no fragrance, no colour, no nothing. Which means I'm going to go back to Clinique Repair Wear Lip, CeraVe Healing Ointment, and my wonderful La Roche-Posay, which I don't have because guess what? I can't keep it on my desk because everybody who comes into my office knows I'm obsessed with it and they steal it. La Roche-Posay Lèvres, CeraVe Healing Ointment, Clinique Repair Wear Lip are all highly healing and soothing and totally unscented. They are my 3 favourite all-time lip balms. And I'm also going to introduce you to something that I think was working really well until I started taking my Acyclovir and I stopped using it, which was so stupid of me. Welcome to Clinisept. Now, Clinisept was introduced to me by Pam at Mortar and Milk, the facialist who I've interviewed. Got the video coming up in a couple of weeks, who calls acne her bitch. Anyway, she uses this on active acne and rosacea, breakouts, and she uses it before and after, for example, treating milia. And it is essentially a topical antibacterial, antiviral, antimicrobial spray, like this. And I'm going to tell you, it smells like bleach. But it is totally pH skin friendly. It is not remotely natural. It was developed for hospitals to keep hospitals MRSA virus outbreak free. And then they realised that they could put it into a formulation that was pH friendly and directly apply it to skin. And this is my cuts, scrape, bruises, cold sore, any spot or pick go-to spray. It's absolutely brilliant. You can now get it online, and I swear even in the early days when it was a suppurating sore, I sprayed this on, obviously keeping my mouth shut, dabbed it around the area, wiped away any excess, and I think this took it from the suppurating sore pussy mess stage to the dry stage much more quickly. I have absolutely no evidence to prove that it works. My gut instinct says it works. I also put a huge shout out onto Instagram, and a lot of people do swear by those on the cold sore gadget. And what it is it's a little pen that basically has a pulse on the end that heats up the surface area of skin. They were originally developed for outbreaks, for spots. So you would put them on a specific spot, and then what they do is they literally hold it on the skin for a certain period of time. They raise the temperature just by 2 or 3 degrees, just enough in that case to kill the bacteria that cause acne. And then in the process of that, they realize they also work on the viruses, because the virus actually, believe it or not, even though it can live in the body, is actually quite susceptible to temperature changes. And if you just heat it up by 2 or 3 degrees, enough for it to get warm enough, but not enough to feel uncomfortable, then actually it does kill the virus. The thing is, you've got to put it directly on the cold sore, which, trust me, I couldn't even eat brown crispy bread or, you know, crisps a few days ago. It was so uncomfortable. So what you do is you put it on your cold sore for a few seconds, it heats the area up, you use it 4 or 5 times a day, and what it does, it kills the localized viruses here simply by raising the temperature. Anecdotally, they do work. So there you go. Gold standard, what I suspect might be the best topical treatment, what is definitely the best supplement, the best SPF, and why not try a licorice balm if you are prone to it. But what I say is, now that at last, hurrah, you don't have to wait at your GP for ages, you can just go online and you can get a prescription. Why not just keep one of these handy for any outbreaks, or more importantly, take a course next time you get one and knock back the virus, so that at least instead of getting them 2 or 3 times a year, some of the people on my Instagram have been getting them once a month over the summer because it's been really hot. You get them every 2 or 3 years. There you go. That's my guide to keeping it real. Cold sores, the bane of my life. So unattractive, isn't it? Can you see that? Really unattractive. I was at a dinner on Tuesday and like everybody in my house just kept going, hello, I'm so sorry, I've got a cold sore. Hello, I'm so sorry. I mean, really. I mean, everybody looks at you like you've got the Black Death, like the plague. Anyway, that's my guide to cold sores. I hope it's helpful. I hope there are some things here that can help. Over the years, I've learned what will reduce my frequency of outbreaks and reduce the length of the outbreak, which is what counts. And in the meantime, I do think all the topical treatments, I like to leave it dry and open, not put any makeup on it and let the air get to it, because I think that's the quickest way for it to heal. It's hard when you're eating and drinking and cleaning your teeth because this area is under a lot of stress. It gets wet, it's stretched, it's exposed to foods. It's tough. It's tough out there for cold sore sufferers, but I've got your back. I feel your pain. Any suggestions that I've missed, let me know before. Let's start a conversation and all help each other. And I will see you soon. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing.